Can you specify a little bit more about the dream team? What is the dream team? What is it needed for?
The dream team is, many of you haven't gone out and ventured into business because you think you don't have enough experience. And therefore, if you don't have enough experience, somebody's going to take advantage of you. That's true. But we've built the concept of the dream team that is built around you. You get a chairman, a CFO, a CEO, industry experts, and you have 6 or 7 people that are on that team. You're not paying them any money. They are getting free founders' equity. They're getting free ownership in the company upon exit. And they're extremely interested. Now, in the old days, you work 40 years at ING Bank and you might get a watch. Those days are dead. Now, you get nothing. You probably get a pension plan. Oh, by the way, another statistic Gallup poll just came up. Remember, I told you 87% of the people are not happy. Half of the people will run out of money before they run out of time, meaning their retirement savings, their retirement plans will be dissipated, drawn down to zero before they die. Half of the people. Okay. Another statistic that keeps a lot of people from doing what I've suggested is 90%, up to 90% of all business startups fail the first year. Up to 90% of all business startups. So, if it almost sounds when you read those things that the odds are against you. Well, no, I look at it just the opposite. I look that means that most of you aren't going to try. Not you, but I mean most of the audiences I speak to won't try. So that means the opportunities that are there are going to be more for me. And especially now, even though I've been pounding on my chest for 3 or 4 years that the lowest interest rates in 5,000 years, if you go to the bank, ING Bank, call up the bank manager and ask him, when was the last time interest rates were this low? He can't tell you. Probably in his career of 25 years of banking, they haven't been this low.
So how can it be if entrepreneurs go to the bank and won't get the money? What are the reasons?
It's a numbers game. For those of you that I'm going to say as a guy, because I can't relate to this as a woman. A guy, there's 20 pretty girls. Okay, the first one that you asked out on a date, or can I buy you a drink? Do guys still buy drinks for girls at bars? Yeah? Okay. We haven't sunk that low yet, okay? So the first one may not want you to buy her a drink, right? The way some of you look, I can't see, you'd have to pay them money to buy you a drink, buy them a drink. By the way, you only have 2 times to make a first impression. First is how you look. Second is when you open your big fucking mouth. Most of you won't ask the girl if you can buy them a drink because you get nervous. You step on your dick. It's a numbers game. There are, last time I counted, there's about 300 banks in the Netherlands. 315, I think. I used to ask, how many have made a presentation to a banker today? This week? This month? This year? Ever? 4 hands went up. 5 hands. That's about right. 5 out of 250 people, that's about right. So how can you tell me this doesn't work? Because you've been scared by other pundits or things that you read about or things that you listen to on the news not to do it. And even though and you go on the website and you can see all these kids that are not 15, they look 15, but they're 25, that are getting money just as he did 20 years ago. And it's easier than it was then because there's, number one, interest rates are significantly lower than when he did it. And number two, there's about 100 times more money in the banks them trying to push out the door than when he did it. He did it at a hard time. Interest rates were high. And the financial constraints, or the lack of financial constraints, let me back up. Another thing that keeps people from doing it is the crash of 2008, 2009, 2010. You've all read about that, heard about it, right? That's all horseshit. It happened, but it's not happening now. That's like saying for you, those of you that are old enough to have grandparents from the Depression, it happened, but it's not happening now. For those of you that have grandparents that fought in the war, you know, against the Nazis, it happened, but it's not happening now. So you're being deluded, scared, into not taking action. Most of you have been taught taking action is listening to a podcast. Taking action is reading a book. Taking action is taking a course online. No. Taking action is pulling the fucking trigger. You know, I say in 4 words what most people say in a book. Just fucking do it. That's taking action. You don't get the third pretty girl to say yes to buy her a drink unless you ask her, right?